Hey, Overcomers, I hope you're all having an amazing day. And I just want to share this word with you. Faith and imagination is important to see the manifestations of the things that we are believing and praying for. It's so important to use our faith. So, anyway, in the book of Ephesians, chapter 3, verse 20, it says that God will do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we ask, think, or imagine. Now, it's amazing because when we are kids, we use that gift of imagination to create. But for some reason, when we become adults, it's like we cut that part off of us and we think that we're not supposed to use our imagination, or it's childlike, or it's unreal, or it's like a fairy tale, or things like that. Imagination. Now, here's my question for you. If we were not supposed to use our imagination, why would we still have that gift? It's not like, okay, you have it for a short period of time as a child, and then when you become an adult, that gift disappears. No, it's still present. But in a lot of us, I find, a lot of us believers, a lot of us as people, that gift is laying dormant. We don't exercise it. Like our faith, it's like a muscle. In order for it to get strengthened, you have to use it. You have to work it out. You have to use it daily. But if you're not exercising your faith daily, and if you're not using the gift of imagination, you're not going to, I truly believe you're not going to really live up to the best that God has for you. You're not going to realize your full potential. You're not going to really see the things that you're believing for and praying for come to pass, okay? Now, we know in the word it says, without faith, it's impossible to please God, and that he's a rewarder of those that diligently seek him. So we have to use our faith. As believers, we have to use our faith. That's so important. So anyway, I want to share a quick story with you. So when I'm trying to think, when I was a teenager, and, obviously I was still living at home, and most of you know my instrument is the flute. I've been playing the flute since I was a child. Most of you also know that I'm a music teacher. I teach bands, love it. I thank God. And, right now, obviously this year things have had to pivot, and it's fine. I'm believing, for it to come back. So anyway, in my parents' house, their living room, they have vaulted ceilings. And one day I said, I want to practice. And I went to my room to get my music stand. And as I was walking midway through the hallway, I paused and I looked and I realized, I was like, wait a minute, this is higher. This is elevated. This is like a stage. And in my mind, I was like, wow, if I stay here in the middle, like if I stand in the middle of the hallway, right, and overlook the balcony, which looks into the living room, I'm going to practice right here. And in my imagination, I imagined that I was on stage and that I was playing for an audience, right? So it's funny because the Lord brought that back to my remembrance a couple of weeks ago. And it was like, look at how many concerts you have performed with students. Like I'm always, up until last year, always have had to get on stage with the kids, spring concerts, winter concerts, and then, just performing outside of work on stages and, in churches and different things, and performing for an audience. But I believe that gift, or that seed, I should say, was planted years ago when I moved in my imagination, and I just imagined that I was on the stage. Little did I know that years later after that I would go to school and become a music major, and therefore end up becoming a music teacher, and so on and so forth. So to truly see the things that we want to come to pass, we have to move in faith and imagination, okay? Our thoughts create. If we really and truly realize how powerful our thoughts are, we would choose to think differently. And this is why I encourage you to think on purpose. Every day, choose to think on purpose, speak certain things on purpose. This is why I tell you every day after prayer, I write out affirmations. And sometimes I actually speak certain things, like speak things over my life and over my son's life. I'm even getting my son into speaking affirmations, because it's amazing. Like, I was sharing with a teacher friend of mine, I said, wow, like, if we could gain this knowledge or get this and understand this from children, imagine how much further we would be. Because as adults, like, there's so much things we have to unlearn. There's so much program. There's so much negativity. There's so many things of, oh, you can't do this. And so many things that, oh, that's impossible. Oh, that can't happen. Or you really think that's going to happen? Like, we have to shift our thinking, and we have to shift our thinking according to the word of God. God said that in the beginning, that he created us so that we have dominion and authority. We're supposed to be fruitful and multiply. And often people think about, okay, fruitful and multiplying in terms of, reproducing. But we're supposed to be reproducing in every area of our lives. Every area of our lives should be abundant. And why? In John 10:10, it says, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I have come that you may have life more abundantly. In order to get to that abundant life and living a life of abundance in all areas of our lives, we need to exercise faith. We are to walk by faith, not by sight, and use the gift of imagination. I pray this word blesses you always. Be an overcomer. Bye.